is fine. Because I'm a girl.
No, you're not. Nope. Nope. Bridget from Guilty Gear Strive had the Guilty Gear series in general. This is not her first game. But Bridget is a male, is not transgender. It doesn't matter what the developer says. If Bridget really was supposed to be transgender and this director Ishitara or whatever his name was, if he intended this to be the case from the very beginning, then he would have just included it from the very beginning, right? I mean, it makes sense to me. Like, why now? Why is it now that all of a sudden Bridget is actually transgender as opposed to just being forced to dress as a woman? This is something that he was doing against his will, the character of Bridget. And no, I'm not going to refer to him as a woman because, yeah, no, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. I don't care who that bothers. I'm not going to do that because there's reality and then there's fiction, right? You can't just make your own reality. You can't just say that you are something that you factually are not. You can't be a person and say that you're a train or something, right? Like, people find it offensive to make that kind of comparison, but it's true. It's absolutely true. You can believe that you are, but you can't actually be. So this is what it looks like when a Japanese company goes woke. And yeah, even the Japanese can go woke, as we can see with Guilty Gear Strive. It's ridiculous what this entire charade of wokeness has done to the world, and what it's even doing to the world of video games. It's like, this is stupid. I don't understand why this is even a thing. Why is this a thing now? It's like 2 decades ago, this would have just been laughed at for the stupidity that it is. Now it's just like everyone's being forced to accept it, being forced to accept something that is just patently false. And this is why it has to be rejected, okay? It's not harmless. Accepting something that is just not true, that is just physically impossible to be true, being forced to accept something like that is something that cannot be allowed. It can't be allowed. You can't just shrug your shoulder at this. You have to combat it because it's a problem. And by combat it, I don't mean physically harming anyone. I'm not calling for violence at all. So when I say combat it, what do I mean? I simply mean that when someone tells you to use pronouns that are just not true, don't do it. If a dude tells you to call him a she, don't do it. If a chick tells you to call her a he, don't do it. And now they're using a medium that is very popular with children to spread this falsehood, to spread this charade, this fakeness, this wokeness that is infecting the world. Men are men and women are women. There is nothing else. So we have an article from the Anime News Network in which the director of Guilty Gear Strive, Akira Katano, was interviewed. And in this, one of his quotes reads, "Regarding the conclusion of the story itself, the overall direction has been decided since Bridget first appeared in the game." Now, I don't know if he means this game in particular, Guilty Gear Strive, or Guilty Gear as a series. Maybe the wording's just a little bit funny there. I'm not really sure what he means, but I'm going to assume he means in this game because that's actually what it says. Ishiwatari said, he then elaborated that although he is uncertain whether he felt as strongly as he does about it now, like that pretty much tells you he's bullshitting. I'm not sure if I actually believed it like I do now, but yeah, no, he's full of shit. Bridget's character arc is more or less the same as what he imagined then. I'm not so sure if that's true. Bridget is a popular recurring character in the series, boy, who wears a nun habit and wields a mean yo-yo. He first debuted in Guilty Gear X2. You cannot use their verbiage. You cannot use their phrases. You cannot, like, doing so, you're basically admitting that they're right when you use their words, their definitions. So that's a pretty bold claim that I just made, that the director is full of shit and he rewrote his story. But how do I know? Well, I suppose I can't say I 100% know, but I think there's a pretty high chance that he did, and here's why. This is David Reimer. David Reimer was someone who had a very similar story to Bridget. So similar, in fact, that it's possible that his story was the inspiration for the character of Bridget. As you can see in this little image, Bridget and David Reimer have these things in common. They were born with a twin brother. Both have a female name that starts with BR. Bridget in Guilty Gear's case, and Brenda for David. Both were raised as the opposite sex without consent, and we're going to get into that, but both received the best care available at the time. Both came out to the world as male in their early teens, and the reason for the above was to dispel the myth that got them into this whole mess to begin with. So in his infancy, David Reimer was born in Winnipeg, Manitoba, the elder of identical twin boys. He was originally named Bruce. But the issue with David was that after he was born, the doctors tried to circumcise him, right? By the way, don't circumcise your kids. It's fucked up. Don't do it. But the doctors tried to circumcise him, but his, I don't know if I can say the word, but his genitalia was severely injured during the process. And so they had the bright idea of raising him as a girl. So that's sort of similar to what happens to Bridget. In Bridget's story, he was born a twin, but twins have, you know, in his village where he was born, twins are seen as evil, and so he would have been killed. Essentially, he would have been killed, so because of that, his family decided to raise him as a girl. So they both have these tragic backstories that leads to their caretakers deciding to raise them as female. David Reimer, he comes out as a male. Well, that's what he is, but the reason that he did was to discourage similar practices. And when he was 38, he tragically killed himself. So is this something more similar to what the director originally had in mind for the character of Bridget? Something similar to this? That's what I think. Maybe Bridget would not have killed himself, but it would have been something more along the lines of him just going back to his village and, like David, would try to discourage similar practices from happening again, right? Instead, the developers decided to change their story to fit modern sensitivities, as they like to say, right? Modern sensitivities, updating it for a modern audience. So you change what could have been a very good character arc, a good story, into some woke bullshit that just ruins your story. You know, Guilty Gear Strive was a fun game, but you know, when you're gonna be so on the nose about a political stance, especially one like this, like one that is just stupid, flat out retarded like this, then I can't play your game. I cannot play your game. You're stupid, you're woke, you're retarded. Like I cannot play this game anymore.